anxious may lose your appetite. Well, that's not true. That's not the reality. See, that person has got a stable job, or the person is famous. That is dangerous. Especially when you now, where do we reach when we continue pleasing and satisfying? This can be definitely applied to language learning skills. Just try to connect. But is not here to always see what you're doing. The world. You may feel anxious, may lose your appetite, or sometimes experience fear for things that you're not sure about. Welcome to another video on my channel. This is Rini Rose Matthew. As you know, this channel focuses not only on language but also mental health. And this is a concern that many learners have put forth during the training sessions. Well, sometimes when you wake up, you may not feel like eating. You may experience fear and anxiety. It is normal if it's for a short duration of time. And it's not very easy to stay motivated every day. You may tell me, I'm doing meditation, I'm experiencing yoga, and because of that, I'm always motivated. Of course, as human beings, we all experience different levels of emotions, fear, anxiety, and feelings, which is quite normal. Now, you may not feel motivated, you may not have the drive for a very long period of time due to several reasons. So I would like to introduce the points. Primarily, it's because of comparison, pretension, and frustration. The solution to all these three is embrace, cherish. So I've given all the words. Now let me elaborate each one. The first one, you may not have the drive or spark as always. You may feel that you are low for a particular period of time due to comparison. Now this happens with people today, especially when you experience the social media. You cannot stay away from social media all the time, or from technology. Even if you're not a social media person, you may not stay away from technology all the time. And everything is so perfect today in the digitalized world. Well, that's not true. That's not the reality. And you know that comparison always ruins people. To an extent, when you compare, it helps you. What I'm trying to tell you is, when it is a challenging zone, when you compare with people who can do much better, you may feel inspired. Nobody decides to inspire and influence you, but it just happens, right? That comparison is different. It's for the larger purpose. It's for a better purpose. Now, comparison, when people deliberately try to tell you that you are no good, you're not like them, you're not performing like them. See, that person has got a stable job, or the person is famous. Comparison really ruins, and that also leads to fear and anxiety. As human beings, I feel if you're able to be happy, if you can make yourself happy from within, not the external happiness, I think that is success. That is what we should teach our children as well. Of course, you may have dreams, and you need to definitely achieve your goals and dreams. The next point is pretension. Now, when you're working with a particular organization, or when you're in a particular status, also when you're in a family, irrespective of having a job or not, you may pretend. Now, pretension, we all pretend, we all wear masks, even I wear mask. For some people, it's greater, it's fake, and they forget themselves. Now, that is dangerous. Now, when you're not happy, when you don't feel good, you may not feel like showing the inner feelings to everyone around. Not because you're not original, just because you're not okay, you don't want to hurt others, or maybe for other reasons. We all pretend to an extent in life. Now, pretension could be in the larger horizon. When you take it in the larger view, in the broader perspective, people just pretend for a very long period of time, when there is a tendency for them to forget their identity, their culture, their upbringing, and all that they have been through. The root, they forget the root. Now, that is dangerous, especially when you are a part of a particular organization or institution. You grow with that institution. But if you feel dominated and if you feel that you're forgetting yourself just because of the work, just because of all that you have been doing, your passion, your interest, or maybe a relationship, and you totally forget what you are, one day you will question yourself asking, what have I been doing all these days? Who am I? What is this leading to? Now that is where you put a full stop and you reflect. Now this is the case with people who don't take time to reflect. Every day it's important to be thankful and also to reflect on all that you have been doing. But when you are emotionally connected to a person, a thing, or a particular place, this corrodes, and it's a gradual corrosion where you forget yourself. And when you look back, when you reflect, if you really care to reflect, you will find yourself corroded. You will not be the same old person. Now, change and transformation is different. I'm not saying that you shouldn't transform or change. But what I'm referring to is corroding. Being not the same person for the worse, which is actually dangerous in shape, in mental health and everything. The next one is frustration. Now, when you compare for a long period of time, when you pretend for a long period of time, it ends up in frustration. Frustration is not just being unhappy with what you have been doing with your life or not getting what you really want. Some people are deprived of even the basic needs in life. That's not what I'm speaking about. When you end up comparing, when you end up pretending for a very long period of time, you become frustrated. And some people are quite transparent with their feelings. They show when they're angry, when others also know, okay, you're not happy. Not to the extent of hurting others, but you know what's happening with a person. But frustration can also create a whirlpool within a mind, leading to an abnormal mind setup. That is, over the period of time, you may not realize that you're frustrated, that you really need something. It could be with reference to sleep, it could be with reference to the basic things like food, it could be with reference to just taking rest for some time on a daily basis. So when it comes to such kind of frustration, people may not be transparent, but it will be there, it will be growing. They may not realize, knowingly and unknowingly, it corrodes the person from within. You lose everything. I mean, from the basic, you start losing, you begin losing everything. Now, where do we reach when we continue pleasing and satisfying others? You need to satisfy yourself, and when you take care of yourself, you will be able to take care of others. Now, sacrifice is not forgetting yourself. Taking care of others' needs is not forgetting yourself. It's more about looking after yourself so that you retain, you sustain and maintain your life, yourself, and also pay attention to your near and dear ones. Take care of their requirements. It's not sacrificing all that you like and then end up only pleasing and convincing. That is not sacrifice, or that is not paying attention to everything. Now, when you begin thinking about yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to forget and completely be selfish and self-centered. That's not the case. The next one is, when you have all these problems on the left hand side, let's take it to the right hand side. Embracing and cherishing. You need to embrace what you have. You may not have everything in life, but just embrace what you have in life. Just embrace who you are. You need not pretend. You need not compare yourself with others. You know what you are. You're confident about what you are. Do not get worked up. Worked up doesn't mean showing anger. Even when you suppress, when you repress, it leads to regression. That also leads to a kind of anxiety. You cannot blame your surroundings. You cannot blame all the people who have lived with you, who have been living with you all the years. But embracing yourself, your identity, all the good things that you have been experiencing itself is the first step. That will give you a lot of confidence. Now, when it comes to language learning also, am I able to read something in English though I'm not able to speak fluently? That itself is embracing. I was not able to go to an English medium school. Fine, I'm embracing. Let me make the most of my opportunity. The next one is cherishing. When you embrace yourself, you begin working. You take the next step even without your knowledge. That's when you really cherish from within. Cherish is when you remember something, when you even approach someone or something with fondness, present, past, or sometimes future also. whatever it is, you will be able to cherish every moment. Now that happens subconsciously. First, you may have to take some effort, just like learning, right? But then it just happens. So when you embrace, when you cherish, then all these things fades. Comparing, okay, getting frustrated, and also pretending. Of course, to an extent, you need to pretend and compare because that helps you sometimes. These are the initial steps. I'm not telling these are the only two things that you have to do. There could be a lot of things that will definitely add flavor and also meaning to the list. To begin with, embrace and cherish. Now, this can be definitely applied to language learning skills. Just try to connect it. Very important. You may wake up in the morning and you may feel, I don't have the drive, I don't have the spark, I'm not feeling motivated to learn something today. It could be due to several factors, and everyone is not here to encourage you or to see your growth, right? Everybody is not here to always see what you're doing. The world is so big. People are really concerned about what their life is giving them. You have to take care of what you're doing. It's your responsibility. Now, at present, when you address the problem, instead of escaping, that's a very important point. When you address a problem, when you talk to yourself or talk to a person who is reliable, it will help you. Now, in this life, you are a human being, right? I'm not degrading or discriminating any other creature, all the beautiful creatures and organisms, but you are a human being. Embrace it, cherish it, give the best, because we don't know what is going to happen in the next birth, if you believe, or the next day. Happy learning.